Alright guys, I'm here at the house and I'm gonna do this board and batten wall. I used 1/2 inch MDF just because I didn't want it to stick out too much. And I'm going to do a foot space in between. So I got all my strips that I cut down on the table saw right here. And then I got my spacer here. This is exactly a foot, so I can just put it between the boards and know that I have a foot in between them. I'm going to measure from the floor up. We're doing 6 feet. And I'm going to measure a little bit less because at the top I'm going to put this. Alright, and that's about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to measure 5'11 1/4. Alright, and then I'm going to take the level and I'm going to make a line across so that my line is level. And then we're going to start gluing and nailing the little board and batten pieces. Alright, so we'll see how this turns out. Oh, I spent about like 2 sheets of this stuff for like $22, so like $40. Alright guys, so here's a list of the material that I used. And here we're starting off by marking how far up we want. I did the 5'11 1/4 to be. And then I added a piece of trim at the top that was 3/4 of an inch, which came out to exactly 6 feet. 5'11 1/4. So I just marked all the way across. Next I took my level and I just went across and made the line, made sure that it was level all the way across. I'm a little bit out of frame, but all I did was continue the line all the way across the wall. Alright, so before we keep going, I'm going to tell you guys that up ahead I used wood glue instead of liquid nails, which I put on the list. And that's because I took liquid nails, but the tube was old and it was dry and all I had on hand was the wood glue. But I did use 2-inch nails and then the sealant on the edges, so I felt comfortable enough that I didn't think it was going to come up. I just used the wood as a backup. But when you're doing yours, make sure you get construction adhesive liquid nails. That's all I had on hand. Alright, so then I took my first top piece and I put the glue on it and I went ahead and nailed it along that line that I had marked. Put one nail on the end and then I went and put another nail on the other end, and I did the same thing to finish out the wall. Then I did the bottom, same thing, made sure it was level, put a little piece of 1/2 inch MDF underneath it to make sure that I had a gap underneath for the flooring, and I went all the way across the wall. Then I started putting the panels up, the straight vertical ones. I started from the edge of the wall, and then I just had a 1 piece of MDF that was a foot wide exactly, and I was just using that to fill the gap. I was just using that so that my gap would be exactly 1 foot apart. After I had those all glued and nailed in, I went and got the 3/4 inch by 1 inch piece of trim and I put it on the top. And then I just nailed it with the nail gun. And remember guys, if you're looking for a healthy protein bar, only 150 calories, 15 grams of protein, check out Built Bar, BuiltBar.com. Use code BB20 for 10% off. These are delicious. here we're just finishing up the last piece of that top trim piece, the 3/4 inch by 1 inch piece. Alright, and here's what it looks like with just the MDF and the trim piece up. This is what it looked like before caulking and filling in the holes, and I think it looks pretty good. Next, I went ahead and we tried some little squares, and I just wanted to show my wife. So I did half of it with squares, and then I sent her a picture, and we decided that we liked just the vertical ones, but if you are going to do squares, you can just cut them to fit in between and then measure the distance. And then I caulked it, filled in all the holes. Remember guys, if you liked the video, hit that like, that subscribe, turn on your notifications, and you can see more videos in the future. As always, thank you guys for watching the channel. And here we are putting the first coat of primer, and we did this on separate days because we weren't painting that same day. And this is our first coat of paint right here. Again, on another day, we had to let the primer dry in between. And this is the last coat of paint on the third day. So I ended up doing 3 coats of paint and a coat of primer, and this is what it looked like after. The wall is still a little bit wet. We had just finished rolling the wall, but this is what the Board and Batten looks like. Pretty simple. It took long because of the drying in between coats, but wasn't too hard to do. And the biggest power tool you need is the table saw to cut the pieces down. Again, thank you guys for watching and checking out the channel, and I'll see you guys next week.